Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So on today's episode, I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to one that I did before, where I talked about editing a YouTube video without losing views or engagement. Now on that previous video, I pretty much covered all the steps, but the main thing that I did not do was actually show you how I edit one, save it, but also one additional step that I did not talk about on that original video. Now, if you wanted to see the original video, I will leave that in the comments area below if you're interested. But let's go ahead and edit an existing video that's already gotten some views and some engagement. And we're going to go ahead and edit it to see if this works from beginning to end. Plus, at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you another step that I didn't show you on the first video. So we'll go ahead and go here to details. And then I'm going to go down here to the YouTube editor. Now the YouTube editor currently is very basic. When it comes to video editing, about the only thing that you could do is to trim or splice or cut, whatever you want to call it. That's about the only thing that you could do to your existing video. Now there are some other options here. You can add audio, but the audio here is from YouTube, whatever audio they have. There's also the ability for you to actually use the blur. So you can blur your face or custom blur. And finally, you could add different end screen elements. But when it comes to actually traditional video editing, whether it would be editing your entire video, editing the audio, adding other video clips and so forth, you simply can't do that. So all you could do right now is just trim, splice, or cut, whatever you want to call it. That is all you can do. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. So here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some things where there's like basically blank spaces. There's no audio. And I'm also going to do the same in the middle, okay? So whenever you want to do this, all you have to do is choose trim. Okay, so if anybody uses a video editor, they should be very familiar with this. So here is your video track and here's your audio track. And all I'm doing is looking at this waveform right here. And I could play it as well. But all I have to do is look at the waveform. So what I want to do here is start it a little bit later. So there's actually nothing here at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and move this up. All right, so now the video should start off at the beginning of me talking. So if I go back to the beginning, I move my playhead there and I press play, it won't start there. It'll start at this new point. And I'll also do a splice as well. So say, for example, you had some blank spots right here in the middle. So you can splice this out if you want. So you go ahead and put your playhead here. Then I'm going to choose split. So it's split it. Now you could move this. And so what it's going to do now is if I move my playhead here and I press play, when it gets to this point of this split, it's going to go ahead and skip that and let's go to the next part. So we'll go ahead and play this.
Why do you create? This is something that's...
And that works perfectly. And maybe I'll do another one here. Yeah, I just want to go ahead and my video ends here. Gonna go ahead and move this up here. All right. So that looks great. That's exactly what I want. And so if I'm good with that, I can do a preview. And then I could go ahead and play this. Move my playhead back here. And then play it. So it started at the new point. And then here, my playhead.
This is something that's...
There it is. And then I could go here as well. Yep, that all works. And you do have a couple options now. You could either discard changes or you could go back to edit trim. And you could do some further editing, or you could go to clear all. And it's basically going to remove all these changes that you have. So I don't want to do that because I've already made the changes. So now I'll go back to preview. And I'm going to go ahead and save this, okay? So here's something that's really important. Thankfully, YouTube will save the original version. That's the one thing that I didn't talk about on the previous video. So once this is processed, I'm going to show you how you could actually go back to your original version. Now, whenever you are processing these new edits, it could take a few hours or maybe even longer depending on how long and complex your video is. And while this is processing, the viewers will see the current version and not the new edited version, and you won't be able to make any other changes to the video. Okay, and so all you have to do is go ahead and save it, and the video is being processed. Check back later, and if I go back to my videos, you see it says processing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come back to this to see if the changes have been implemented. And then on the final part of this video, I'm going to be showing you how you could revert and go back to your original version. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Okay, so the processing is done. So let's see if those new changes are in place. We'll go to details, and then we'll go down here to editor. And yep, the new changes are there because there is no blank space here at the beginning. So if I play this,
So the question that I want to ask you
yep, so it started right when I start talking. And I can't remember where I made that split, but it was probably somewhere over here, but I know it's been done. And then the final part is, as you recall, I removed the blank audio at the end. So if I play this part right here, and it is great. So it stopped at exactly when my audio ended, which is what I wanted whenever I did the edit. So as you can see, I made these changes, it saved it, and most importantly, if I go back to my video, my views, engagement, they're all still there. So that shows you that this does work. And now I'm going to be showing you one final thing, and that is how you could actually go back to your original version. So say, for example, whatever edits you made here with the trim, or if you added any of these elements, you didn't like what you had and you wanted to go back to the original, well, thankfully, YouTube currently allows you to do that. So the way you do that is if you go up here to these three dots, go to options, there's an option to revert to original. So we'll go ahead and choose that. And then it's going to say all elements and edits will be removed from your video. This change cannot be undone. So basically, whatever changes you made here, you'll no longer be able to go back to, but you can go back to your original, which is what we want. So we'll go to revert to original. And then videos being processed, please check back later, just like we had before. And we'll go back here, and it is processing. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and come back to it to see we have our original video and to see we still have our views and engagement. Okay, so the video is done processing again. And let's go ahead and look at the details to see if we're now back to our original video. We'll go to the editor. And yep, it's back to the original because I could see the blank space there for the audio. The other split that I made is now gone, and I have this back again, which I did remove on the edit. So if I play this, there should be a blank at the beginning.
Hey, Geeks, and so
There is, and then at the end of the video,
we'll see you on another video.
Yep, there's some additional things at the end as well. And so it did go back to the original. And so for any of you who are thinking about editing your videos using a YouTube editor, and you're worried about not being able to go back to your original, well, you can. So that's a great thing. And of course, the final thing, we still have our engagement and views. And so you don't lose any of that, which is the most important thing. I think for a lot of us creators, we don't want to lose any of this that we have. So that is it on this video on how you could actually edit a YouTube video without losing views, without losing engagement. Plus, if you wanted to go back to your original version, you can. So if you actually had any thoughts on this or any other ways in which you do this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my YouTube tutorials and tips, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.